What is going on, everybody? I have a new video for you guys. We're going to go over Profit Trailer, PT Feeder. I'm going to give you guys some new settings. It hasn't changed a whole lot, but I wanted to touch on a few different topics regarding how we should be running our bots in this sort of market that we're in. And I guess I'll just start off by what you're seeing on screen are just some different comparisons. I just use Cardano because it's easy. Everybody pretty much knows what Cardano is. And it has a lot of volume. I mean, I could use other coins, but whatever. One thing that we should note though is when you're running Profit Trailer and PT Feeder, the whole idea, if you're using a Bitcoin pair, is to increase your Bitcoin position. And you've probably heard me talk about this a lot in the past, but it's really important to understand that there is some real major market dynamics when we're looking at how Profit Trailer is going to increase your Bitcoin position. So you're using Bitcoin as your base trading pair in Profit Trailer. If you're in your app settings folder and you have this, let me get this out of here. If you have this set to BTC, then you're basically trading Bitcoin for other pairs. And I know a lot of you are like, all right, we get this, we understand. But what you may understand, you may not fully be aware that Bitcoin is obviously going up and down daily. This middle graph here is Bitcoin. And as you can see, it's super volatile, right? It's going up 5%, going down 10%, going up 15%, and it's not very stable. So that makes trading, any pair against Bitcoin difficult because now you have two different variables that you're working with. You're working with Bitcoin's volatility, and then you're also working with this other coin's volatility that you just purchased. And you're basically hoping that the other coin, say you purchase Cardano, you're hoping that Cardano's value in terms of Bitcoin increases faster than Bitcoin's value in terms of dollars, right? So that becomes difficult to wrap your mind around and difficult to even show on a chart. This chart becomes very messy and, it's difficult to really understand and grasp. Something that's a little easier to grasp, and this is kind of why I want to talk about this, is so this is Cardano to Bitcoin, right? This is a basic trading pair that you would see if you're trading using Bitcoin trading pairs. This is Ethereum to Cardano. And as you can see, if we're just breaking through these two, there's definitely more volume on the Bitcoin trading pair. There's not as much volume when you're trading with Ethereum pairs. So that's one of the reasons you might see a little bit more stability. But then if we go to the like coin market cap, you can see that, it seems pretty stable over the past 24 hours, both Ethereum and Bitcoin. They've been hovering around their same respective prices. But say Bitcoin, if you're doing TA on Bitcoin, it is very possible that we reach the $6,000 to $7,000 range. We can touch that again, or we can launch up to the $14,000 range, right? And if that happens, then that really, really throws off your profitability because in either direction you sort of lose, especially with the market that we're sitting in right now. We're sitting at about 373 billion. Now, when over the past few weeks, after we bottomed out at 6,000, there hasn't been a ton of new money coming into the market. So what you've been seeing is basically Bitcoin is taking all of the money from all these other coins, right? All these people are starting to see, oh, okay, Bitcoin is the granddaddy. He drives the market. And when Bitcoin starts to go on a little bit of a rise, what we've been seeing in this small market cap, that a lot of these altcoins are bleeding when Bitcoin goes on a rise. So if you think that we're going to hit, 12,000 soon, then most likely these other coins are probably going to be suffering a little bit. And then you lose in that scenario. And if Bitcoin drops in heavy value, what tends to happen is everything else drops in value. So it becomes very difficult to navigate this market. So one thing I'm testing right now is the USDT trading pairs. You can see that this looks a lot more stable, right? Just from switching it from Bitcoin, like look at these big swings in Cardano when you're valuing it against Bitcoin versus when you're valuing it against the US dollar or US dollar Tether. So basically the USDT never changes. If we go down to Tether, it is roughly the same price all the time at that $1 range. So we're only dealing with one variable, which is Ripple, or not Ripple, Cardano, my bad. But then we also need to keep in mind that if we're going to use Tether, then we're really going to want to hope that Bitcoin doesn't fall in price, because what did I say? Most of those altcoins tend to fall in price. And this is where it becomes very difficult. And this is why I've tightened up my settings in Profit Trailer and PT Feeder to really only buy when it is a good buying opportunity. I don't want to just shotgun out and buy a ton of different coins, because if we do get into that situation, it's inevitable. We're going to be holding bags no matter what trading pair you're using. So to me, it's clear that trading with Tether in this market cycle that we're in right now is probably the best. Now, I know there's a lot of negativity surrounding Tether. A lot of people don't trust it, and that is fine. I'm not telling you to use Tether. You can very well use Bitcoin and Ethereum. But I'm going to test some with Tether and just see how it goes. It is possible that Tether freaking implodes and I lose all my money that I have in the coin. But just be aware of that. Do your own research on the whole Tether situation, and you go in at your own risk. But as you can see, we can see some major drops, and this is a 5-minute candle. So we're seeing, so I have these big EMAs. These are not what I want to use. So what would I be using? I would be using 24. I think I use 24 and 5 for my bull market. So let's plug those in here. And actually, one of my subscribers pointed this out. There's an EMA gain strategy for Profit Trailer. So I'm assuming it's this one. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we can go in here and we'll do, let's see, the slow one would be 24. The fast one would be 5. And our EMA gain is at negative 0.9. And then we can get rid of these. And so all these green bars are where it would look to start buying. So as you can see, there's definitely a lot of buying opportunities, and we can kind of get an idea of if these are actually good buying opportunities or not. So if it would have bought here, probably would have been holding on to this bag for quite some time, depending on, yeah, it definitely would have bought here. This is a cool tool. I like this. It would have bought here, and we would have ended up profiting in this region. So we probably would have held on to that bag for, I don't know, a couple hours or so. But I mean, you can see where you can get into some real trouble. You end up buying up in here, and then you go down, 15%, and you're just stuck in this deep bag for a while. And especially with a coin like Cardano, where you have the suspicion that it's going to be around for quite a long time, it's not such a big deal. But the whole point of me using Profit Trailer and tightening up these settings is so I can utilize it, right? I want to have all of my money trading all the time, because there's no sense in me holding. I have different portfolios to hold different coins. I want this to be making passive income all the time. So I would even be more inclined to tighten up these EMAs even a little bit more, and give myself maybe a 19 here. Give me a little bit less opportunity to buy. And this is just something we have to play with, right? Let me do like a 7 and a 15. There's just some really deep candles where it's buying. Make these bigger. I was messing around before the video with some of these larger EMAs. But as you can see, when you have a larger EMA, it's definitely a bigger buying window. So as you can see, it was looking to buy all the way down here. And that's not something I really want. So if you just mess around with these, so I had 24 and 5, so let's try like 24 and 7, and you can see the buying opportunities really decrease. So if you did like a 24 and a 3, there's a lot less buying opportunities there. So what I'm doing right now is I'm using Tether because I think it's obviously more stable than Bitcoin. It's going to stay at a constant value of one US dollar. And that takes away one variable. So now all I need to do is hone in where my buying strategy should be looking. So with that said, that's what I'm going to be doing. Go ahead and follow along. You can look through here. I didn't change much in the actual settings. I'm changing this to USDT, and I'll be uploading these settings as well. There's a few things that you'll have to change. The min buy balance is set to 100, so you have to change that to whatever you want your min buy balance to be. I still have the stop losses in the DCA folders. So if you do want to run a stop loss, please remove these stars. I don't want to get rid of those stars because I don't want this thing selling any of your coins. If you guys are brand new to the channel and you haven't seen this before, on the GitHub I leave a note saying like you have to delete these or else Profit Trailer won't understand what this code is. But basically this is a stop loss trigger at negative 15%. So if you're holding bags deeper than 15% and you enable that code, it will sell it immediately. So be aware of that. That's important. You don't want to just sell all your DCA bags, I don't think. So, but with that, I think most of this stuff is very, very similar to my last update. I am just more or less trying to play with Tether, and it seems to be working in this kind of sketchy market that we're in. I also changed this minutes to measure trend to a little bit quicker, so that way the trends are updating faster, and we're getting like it seems to be a little more stable that way, because 30 minutes generally things happen slower over a quicker amount of time, if that makes sense. Over a 60-minute candle, if we looked at a 60-minute candle, the swings are much larger than if you're looking at a 30-minute candle. So like if you look at somewhere in here, we go to our 30-minute candles, and they're just smaller percentage drops, and that's kind of where I want my bot to be looking at, is on a faster time scale, so smaller candles. I just think it's helping a little bit. We'll see. But anyway, I don't have a ton to share. I just wanted to update you on a couple of those things because this situation is really important to understand. You really need to understand that there are many variables when you're trading these coins, like these cryptocurrencies. You're trading a cryptocurrency for another cryptocurrency. They're both independent valued, right? So you have a very big opportunity to go into super negative DCA bags, and that's what we're trying to avoid here. So with that said, if you got any value out of this video, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff like this. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys want me to go over regarding Profit Trailer and PT Feeder. If you have some settings you want me to go over, I'm more than happy to do so in a subsequent video. If you're new to the community or whatever, you don't have Profit Trailer or PT Feeder, I have affiliate links in the description. By all means, if you want to purchase them, it helps me out a lot, helps the community, and it helps me keep producing content like this. So if not, if you don't want to buy from me, that is all right too. So with that said, I will catch you all in the next video. I hope you're all staying away from those DCA bags. All right, guys, take it easy.